Good morning and welcome to the June 8th, 2022 session. We don't have a minister this morning, so Commissioner Painter, would you lead us in prayer?
Be honored to. If you'd like to participate, please bow your heads. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've made. And Lord, we thank you for the freedoms that we get to enjoy here in America, and the opportunities to be able to gather as a county entity and to make decisions for the residents of Clermont County. Lord, we ask that your wisdom be upon this meeting, that the decisions that be made will make Clermont County a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Lord, we ask you be with those first responders and those people who are in law enforcement today who go out and risk their lives on a daily basis. We ask that your protective hand be around them, that they might be joined with their families today at the end of their shift. Lord, we ask you be with all the employees of Clermont County, and we ask you be with those who are unable to attend this meeting this morning, that your healing hand might allow them to attend at a later date. It's in all these things we pray, in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Commissioner Corcoran, you want to lead us in the pledge?
Be honored.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda is to approve the regular session minutes of June 1st, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Chris Davis? We're going to let you go. We have a new hire you want to introduce.
Good morning.
Morning.
We have Mark Hagerman coming to us from Kroger. He spent 4 years there as a support analyst, and he'll be one of our customer support people. So you'll probably be talking to him a lot with the phone, and he'll be out in the area and stuff. He is married. He has 3 daughters, 1 son, and he's a proud new grandfather to a grandson and a granddaughter. So I'd like to welcome Mark.
You have twins?
They weren't twins. It's two separate daughters.
Oh, okay.
One had a girl, one had a boy.
Wow.
That's
Well,
right.
welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to that club, that grandfather club.
I love it.
You bet. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. You want a picture? You want a picture, Mike?
Okay.
What do you say?
I don't know.
You bet.
Good.
We got all the boys together. That works.
Ready?
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for coming.
It's like an obstacle course. Sorry, I pushed it right back.
You're fine. Item C, public participation. I don't see anyone. Moving on to D, consent agenda. Board, you've had time to review. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. You had to think about that?
I did.
Moving on to item E, non-consent agenda. Number 8, it is the recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 060-22, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $2,110,988.75 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated June 8, 2022, BCC directed prepaid invoices reports and/or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on June 6, 2022, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Honey,
Good morning.
there already.
Good morning. Item number 9 is the recommendation of Teresa Ellison Interim Director, Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute a contract for services by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Ernie Diamante, LLC, DBA Diamante Design Group, located in Lebanon, Ohio, for the provision of digital, commercial, digital audio, and Google and social media research services relative to the promotion of the services and programs provided for the Clermont for the purpose of outreach and recruitment of participants for a total amount not to exceed $49,500, effective upon execution by all parties for a period of 12 months, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release and receipt of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 3244-00 dated May 16th of 2022 relative thereto.
Thank you. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 9. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Number 10.
Recommendation of Teresa Ellison, Interim Director, Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, to execute the bench advertising agreement and billboard company agreement and payment authorization by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Bench Billboard Company, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of bench boards relative to the promotion of the services and programs provided through Ohio Means Jobs Clermont for the purpose of outreach and recruitment of participants, with the billboards to be placed at numerous locations throughout Clermont County for a total amount not to exceed $30,000.75, effective upon placement of the billboards on the benches for a period of 52 weeks, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release and receipt of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 3360-00 dated May 24th, 22.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 10. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Go ahead.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Done.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Abstain.
Number 11, Jason Fountain.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
This motion, item 11, is a recommendation of myself, Jason Fountain, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, with the concurrence of Mr. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Bonnie Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, Clermont County, Ohio, to execute a satisfaction of mortgage, certifying that the terms of the mortgage and promissory note it secures, as dated, has been satisfied, and authorizing the recorder to release the mortgage of record for the property listed below as it relates to the septic system rehabilitation financing program in concert with the Ohio Development Services Agency Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program. Rolls right off the top.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Suki.
Morning, Board.
Good morning.
So item 12 is a recommendation to adopt resolution 06122, resolving to reappoint the members that currently serve on the Clermont County Transportation Improvement District as the current incumbents for a 2-year term effective June 21st of this year through June 20th of 2024. This is pursuant to section 554002A and C2 of the Ohio Revised Code. Current members are Lyle Bloom, Jeff Wright, Matt Taylor, Jeremy Evans, and Jeff Likens.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. 13,
Item 13 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans to accept the following permanent easement granted and conveyed to the county, and this is for roadway purposes for project number WA 2119, which is the Cedarville Road Bridge C26 4.78 located in Wayne Township, and authorize payment as compensation for the permanent easement and right-of-way granted. This is granted from Phyllis Riggs, and it is for a bridge project that we have, so we can replace that bridge up there.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. 14.
Item 14 is a recommendation to execute record plat number 629-3341. This is for the replats of, replat in order to create Lot 14A in the Town of Goshen North Addition. It's a replat of lots 14 and 15. This is up in Goshen Township.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Do I-
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Suki. Lyle, you only have one today?
Just one.
Wow.
Item 15 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement that we granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling water utility lines, pumping equipment, and all incidental appurtenances required for the transportation of water in, on, under, and across the property of the grantors, as well as provide ingress and egress access to the easement area. And this is for parcel numbers 413103A083 and 413103A087, located along Jean Lane in Union Township. This is an existing water main that the property owner was doing they had their surveyor, who was Carl Hartman, the former county engineer, was doing some survey work and determined that there was no easement that existed for the existing water main on the property. So Carl prepared the easement document, and they granted the easement, donated the easement to the county.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 15. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you. Item F, additions to the agenda, Tom? None. Okay.
Before we move on to that,
Uh-huh.
I would like to make a motion that we rescind item number 9. Item number 9 was a recommendation of Teresa Ellison for commercial, digital, audio, Google, and social media outreach services that are pertinent to the Ohio Means Jobs Clermont. I'd like to rescind that motion.
Okay, that's your,
Wait, Dimalanta yet?
Yes.
Let's see what you're doing. Okay. All right. I'll second your motion and take it off.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, we'll just rescind it. We can approve it right on. I'm on that board. I should have abstained.
oh, okay.
That's
All right.
So you want to reconsider first?
We have a motion to rescind on the floor.
We do.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Okay. Then I make a motion to consider item number 9 for a recommendation to Teresa Ellis as read with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel for contract services between Clermont County, Ohio and De La Monte LLC Design Group, Broadway Street, Lebanon, Ohio, for the provision of digital, commercial, digital audio, Google, social media outreach services, promotion of services provided for Ohio Means Jobs for a total amount of $49,500, effective upon execution by all parties for a period of 12 months pursuant to the terms and conditions specified herein, and contingent upon the release and receipt of the required purchase order with requisition number 00003244-00 dated 5/16/22 relative thereto.
Okay,
I'll second your motion on that then.
okay. What was that look?
You need a roll then?
Roll call.
Commissioner Painter,
Abstain.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
There you go.
And that's because you said on the, did that.
And that's probably not a conflict.
That was the same thing with community service when I did it. You want everything
I'd
to
just
look.
rather be conservative on that, that's all.
Exactly. Tom, anything else before we go into executive session?
If you want to move.
Can we move?
Elected official discussion.
Sure, let's
I do
move.
have one item for the board to consider.
Let's look at H, county staff elected official discussion. Anything there?
Yeah, so the board tabled the comm center rate allocation rates on June 1st. That was item number 17 till today. So I'd like the board to consider removing that item from the table for discussion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And I'll have Ms. Raines review the request, which was, I believe at the time was, there was a request to maybe maintain the rates at the 2019 levels. So I'll just let Mary review the impact of that.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
The 911 calls were reviewed last month, and for the 2021 rates that we brought before you on June 1st was for the public safety users at $8.31.47 per dispatch, and then the other users was at 7.5228, and cost per minute of airtime came to 91.16 cents per minute, airtime minute. The total comm center costs for last year were $2,155,148. And at those 2021 rates, the allocation would have been 85% for the sheriff to absorb, sheriff and the mutual aid people in county offices. And then 15% would be billed to the users at $465,037.35. The discussion last week, when you wanted to table it, was to look at what would happen if we held the rates at the 2019 rates, which is what we did for this year's bills. So those rates are 7.4161 per dispatch for the public safety, $6.65.35 for the non-public safety users, and 74.95 cents per airtime minute. And when that's all said and done and calculated in there, the county would then be responsible for 87% of the comm center charges and build out 13% at $415,807 roughly. By doing this, we could, if the board wanted to, as they indicated, was use some of the ARPA revenue loss funds, which can be used for any government purposes, as opposed to the regular ARPA funds, which this does not fall under the guidelines of that. The difference in the billing would be $49,230.38. The only thing I would recommend is that you keep in mind, and if you go with the 2019 rates, is to ensure that the users are aware that at some point there will be no ARPA monies, there will be nothing else, and they could feasibly see a jump because, as we saw, from 7.41 to 8.31 for this year. If we go down another year or two, the jump could be higher, that they would possibly have to look at that. And I guess that's really it. Right now, most users have paid in full. We still have a couple villages that we're working with to see about their past due balances. But other than that, things are going along pretty well.
Can I just ask, do each one of these townships and them also get those ARPA loss funds? Have they gotten money in for that?
Yes, they're eligible for ARPA monies.
Okay.
I don't know the details of what who gets,
Yeah.
but those federal dollars are available to the municipalities as well.
All right. So could I ask at this time that we review this now that we have the numbers and bring it back next week or later?
It'll be up to the board, whether or not you want to make a decision today or table the item again and to a future
Okay.
date.
All right. What's the
I mean,
preference?
Whatever the board pleases. So basically, Mary, we're holding off the inevitable.
Right,
I mean, there will be an increase. Costs are going up. I
Right.
mean, we understand that.
correct. comm center is run, the dispatchers are a bargaining unit, so they have a contractual increase every year.
But
So-
right now, we have the ability to do it.
Currently,
We don't have the ability to do it forever or for a long period
Right.
of time unless there's some other revenue process looked at that would provide those kind of services.
right, if there would be something that would come available.
Right.
In the past, when we first started this allocation, it was thought that the county would pick up 70% of the comm center and 30% would be from the users. So in that, in the mix, it's gotten closer to the 80%, 80-20, and now we're,
Looking higher.
going a bit higher.
I'm willing to go. I'm willing to put this thing to bed today for 49,238. If
Me-
that's, I'd like to hold it.
I mean, and if we do this after we vote, I think maybe we need to go to a township association meeting and stress to them, we're using ARPA funds. It's not going to be here forever. So next year you may see that larger jump because you're getting it lowered this year. But we've got to stress to them, we're doing this year to help you again, but it's not going to be there forever. So you're going to see a bigger jump next year than if we did it what was presented to us to begin with.
And there'll be other funds come their way here at the end of the year or next year. The Ohio One agreement is going to provide, funds in there that will offset other funds that they would be able to pay, their share. So that's what we hope for. I think, it's a temporary basis. It's the inevitable. It's going to raise. It's probably the other thing is that sooner or later, this board is going to have to take a look at the overall cost of 911 services in the county and come up with a path forward for that.
Because we
because
don't want people to not use
Right.
the 911 system to save money. That is not our goal here at all.
and keep in mind, the state keeps enhancing 911 services with different features that cost more
More
money.
money.
They're more, what would you call it? They're better features.
Yeah, like your
And-
pings.
And they provide a wider margin. They're not things that you want to take a look at and say, well, we're not going to do that because of the cost.
And the upgrade of all of the radios and everything is quite expensive.
Well, and this is strictly the operating costs.
Right.
Mhm.
The county absorbs all the capital costs and we do not pass that along to the users of the system. So last week on the first, you moved to pay like 130,000 for some radio upgrades. And that was countywide. So that benefited the users as well. So we do continue to absorb all of the capital costs.
So we have this item back on the table right now. Could someone read that item? What did the item say?
So it is to establish the Clermont County Communication Center 2021 cost allocation rates necessary to recover the incremental costs from the users of the system. And that motion said it will represent 15% of the actual 2021 cost of the operation at Clermont County Communication Center. And the user type will be public safety governmental user at 8.3147, other dispatch users 7.5228, and airtime users at 0.9116. So if the board wants to amend the motion, you'd have to change the 15% to 13%.
Okay.
8.3147 would change to 7.4161. 7.5228 would change to 6.6535. And the airtime would change from 0.9116 to 0.7495. And that would be the amended motion.
So I would make a motion.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
The amended motion with the clarification that this does not stand forever, that this needs to be reviewed again.
Yep.
Once we've used the ARPA loss funds is what we're talking about using, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So Mary, is there any other changes other than the ones I just mentioned?
No, those would be the only changes. If Commissioner Corcoran wants a sentence put in there that mentions that this is, that we would be using the ARPA funds for that, that would have to be added in here.
Yeah, we'd have to mention that ARPA funds will be used for this purpose.
I can work with the clerk to put a little
Okay.
As
sentence
long as
in
the
there.
minutes reflect that,
All right.
You're fine.
and that amount is 49,230.38.
Okay.
So Commissioner Corcoran's made the motion. I'll second that amended motion. for
All right.
consideration.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you,
You're
Mary. All the numbers also. Appreciate it.
Good job.
We're ready for executive session.
Okay. Item J, we're backing this up. G, executive session pursuant to section 121.22G6 of the Ohio Revised Code to discuss details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for a public body or public office. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, we will return. Thank you. We have returned from executive session. No decisions were made. At this time, it's 11 o'clock, and we do have a public hearing for a proposed name change. And Loretta, hello.
Morning.
So today is June the 8th, and the location for the public hearing as published in the Clermont Sun on May 12th, 2022, for the receipt of public comment relative to the request of the Pierce Township Board of Township Trustees to change the name of a portion of Cleveland Lane to Samplewood Lane, all of which is located in Pierce Township, Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 5541.04 of the Ohio Revised Code. And just a reminder, if you have not signed in, the sheet is back there on the table. Please do so. And Greg, you're going to give a report on this?
Morning.
Morning.
Greg Reisner, County Engineer's Office. Today we have a request for a road name change contained in Pierce Township Resolution 2022-005 dated March 9th, 2022, requesting a name change for a portion of Cleveland Lane to Samplewood Lane. And the Clermont County Engineer's Office does not oppose the requested road name change. All that means is that we have checked for a duplicate, and there is not an existing Samplewood Lane located within Clermont County in the townships or in the county. There is one residential address that is currently listed as Cleveland Lane that would be adjacent to this road name change. So Cleveland Lane is a part of Woodside Park subdivision, section 4A. It's currently under a street performance bond. So this record plat was submitted while the village of Amelia still existed. And then it was approved shortly after the village of Amelia was dissolved in 2021. So we knew there was going to be some issue with Cleveland Lane because we already have a Cleveland Lane and a Cleveland Avenue. And there is some future plan to even extend Cleveland Lane to intersect with Cleveland Lane. Obviously, that could pose some potential problems too. So the engineer's office does not object to the road name change. The legal description is situated in Pierce Township, Clermont County, part of Catlett Military Survey 506, and being all of Cleveland Lane as shown on Woodside Park Subdivision, Section 4A, recorded in Plat Cabinet 19, page 54 of the Clermont County Recorder's Office. Beginning at the intersection of Cedarwood Drive and extending northeast for 138.13 feet for a total distance of 0.026 miles. So the only portion of Cleveland Lane that the township has petitioned to change the name of is this portion that's located in Woodside Park subdivision for a total length of 0.026 miles. The county engineer's office did not receive any correspondence in favor or in opposition to the road name change.
Okay. Any comments? Holly, have you received any correspondence?
I have not received any correspondence. I'm not sure if we have anyone here today that would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to.
Thank you. Loretta, do you have?
Well, I guess if
We have Julia's
Yes, we,
Julia.
I ask if there's anybody
right,
in favor of, and then we have to have them
sworn in.
sworn in.
sorry.
would you like to?
Anyone in favor of changing?
Just anyone who wants to speak in favor of, just.
We'll
raise
have to
your
have
hand,
you sworn in.
And then you'll be sworn in.
You're gonna talk.
You'll repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. The testimony I'm about to give. Is the truth, the whole truth.
The truth, the whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
God.
So the people in the back, you're not going to speak? If you think you are, you need to be sworn in.
Okay, we're speaking against.
We're speaking against. You said it all in favor of. I'm not in favor of it.
So just go ahead and they can speak first and then we'll swear them.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So those in favor who'd like to speak, it
Who,
would be your opportunity now.
looks like you were chosen.
Yeah,
Give your name and your.
Your
address.
name and address,
Sure.
please.
Travis Newcomb. I'm at 3437 Cleveland Lane, not the portion that's located in Woodside Park. So yeah, this has been kind of an ongoing issue. We attended some meetings with Amelia while they were still incorporated, and we talked with the developer at the time of Woodside Park, and kind of had some agreement there that this new subdivision would not connect to the existing Cleveland Lane. So yeah, we were kind of shocked when we went back there one day and saw that section of the development, had a sign up called Cleveland Lane. It's problematic because GPS is taking deliveries down our 1-lane road. We've got semi trucks getting stuck back there. It's literally not wide enough for 2 vehicles. So Karen, who lives at the end of the road, her driveway's been damaged by large trucks going back there, putting ruts in her property, that sort of thing. But yeah, we're just in favor, since it does not connect, definitely in favor of changing the name, because it's in fact not Cleveland Lane. It doesn't connect. Yeah.
Thank you.
This has caused great hardship to me.
Your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Karen Fizzy. I live on 3376 Cleveland Lane. It's all the way at the end of Cleveland Lane. So when you come off 125, probably have the map right there, and then you go down, it's just a 1-lane road that's paved. And then it goes straight for a while. Then it makes a turn to the right around the bend. And then it goes just so far, if you're following me, then it turns to the left again. Okay. And then there's the paved part that ends, and my private lane, gravel lane, begins. So I am at the end of Cleveland Lane. So when people come off 125 and they have to follow it all the way around, and then it's sort of like a question mark shape when you go around it and you come, then I'm already at all the way at the end. So all the traffic, I didn't bring all my paperwork with me, but I kept track for about at least 3 months of Amazon Prime, Kroger, Walmart, DoorDash, and might be some other ones. Those are the 4 main ones, who would come all the way back thinking that they're trying to get to Cedarwood Drive because it's on the other, it's parallel to my lane. Can you see where that Cedarwood is? Okay, so that little section that is that new so-called Cleveland Lane with the field in between it that does not connect is where everybody's trying to get. So they go down Cleveland Lane and then they turn and they just keep going, and at high speed, I might add, around the corner, trying to get over there to Cedarwood, because they're trying to get to that false Cleveland Lane first, I guess, because it looks like it joins to Cleveland Lane. Can you see where it goes? It's just so complicated to explain. So when they come down 125, turn off to Cleveland Lane and follow the straight part, when then it starts to turn around, go to the right a little bit. If it would keep on going straight, then it would meet that new Cleveland Lane. Okay, but there's not any connection. There shouldn't be. There's a field in between, but instead, all the GPS, GIS, GOS, whatever they are leading everybody back to my house. So it's a steady stream because they can't get through there because it's not connected. And we've been told that it's not going to ever be connected. So in the meantime, all these people keep coming back, they get confused, and then they don't even look. I have signs all over the place. It's a private drive, and also no access to Cedarwood, so you can't get there anyway. Everybody just keeps coming back blindly to my house, but it dead ends. So where's anybody supposed to go? Well, they come barreling around the corner onto my lane, all the way back to my house, all hours of the night. Kroger trucks, Walmart trucks, construction first was craziness. All the construction trying to get over to Cedarwood. And so they would come through, and then Amazon, when they started coming back, I was getting delivery after delivery after delivery. And they were just leaving them on my small driveway, private driveway that's paved, cement that's mine. And all these huge trucks are coming through. And I would ask people, what are you doing? Oh, we're trying to get to Cedarwood, or we're trying to get to that Cleveland. Yeah, this is Cleveland Lane, but it's the real Cleveland Lane. That little added-on part was just put on. So if you would see how many times they would come back in the rain, in the dark, Kroger trucks, Walmart trucks, Amazon Prime. And then the DoorDash one day came back, went into my fenced yard, dropped off a sandwich, which my dog ate and got sick the next day. You can imagine how unhappy I've been. And this has been going on for months. And then it came to 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday. And what I ended up doing to try to get people not to come with all my signs is I bought 3 traffic cones, because where the pavement stops and my gravel private lane starts, at least I thought maybe I'll try to block that off. Okay. I had an electrician coming back to do some work, so I thought I'll just move those aside so he can get back. It wasn't 5 minutes later, I'm not kidding. 5 minutes later, a huge tractor trailer came back with 2 huge out sheds. And they came through because I had just moved the cones, and then they went right through onto my gravel lane, saw they couldn't go any farther, went, and I own the field next to it too. And they just went all the way around, digging up my field with these 2 huge out, not houses, but out sheds. And then they had to go back around, tear everything up, coming back. And then when they came back out, it's either when they came back out, our one little lane, or it was just before, because I had the electrician and the mailman were just shoved off the road to get out of the way of all of these sheds and the big long bed truck. And well, I'm pretty upset. So I wanted to get my field fixed, but I didn't know who I could get to get that taken care of either. So months and months of people coming back at all hours of the day, morning, evening, rain, darkness of night. Again, I'm going to repeat. They've come back, Amazon Prime, constantly, big trucks, vans, individual people, like every day, constantly coming back. Trying to get to Cedarwood normally. And then it turned out that people lived on that little section, the one house that's built there on the new named Cleveland Lane, which I was starting to get their baby gifts. And they were just dropping them off on my gravel lane after a while. And I was getting pieces of things that they were ordering. Turned out one of the sheds was supposed to be delivered to them, so they had to go back out. Okay, so then I had that. Can you see this is like really this is like very frustrating to me, especially. And so then when the time came where my dog ate that sandwich and I was sick the next day because DoorDash came right into my gate, right up to my front door, because I have a fence around my house. So they came in there, left that there. So and not only that, people were starting to come over from Cedarwood Drive to see if things that were delivered to me, because I knew one person over there whose things I was getting to, and heavy things I couldn't move, construction items. They would just leave them in my driveway. If I had to get out, then I'd be blocked. I couldn't physically pick up the big things that were being delivered by Amazon Prime, and then also the construction trucks. There are so many deliveries. I get carpet deliveries on and on and on every day. So I guess I'm going on and on myself here, but this is really a heartache for me.
Well, thank you.
And anybody who comes down the lane can't get through because it's just one lane and all these construction and or delivery people. I don't know. Do you have any questions for me? I think I've just tried to lay out everything.
Thank you.
No, I think you've described it pretty well.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate you taking the time to listen to us for this. And, oh, I think I have one other question to ask about this before I sit down. So the people who are coming back, I understand they're looking at their GPS or GIS or GOS, whichever one they have. Can you possibly share with us how long it would take to change, to get that fixed so the people wouldn't keep coming back to get over? Because they're trying to get, it's telling everybody they can get from Cleveland Lane to Cedarwood and any place respect employee over there at the Woodside Park, but they can't. So everybody has told me, I don't even know if I could tell you if it's at least 100 people I've talked to, that their GPS is telling them to come to me. And then they even get in front of my house and they're like, look, it's telling me I'm here, I'm on Cedarwood. No, you're not. You're at my house, which is at a dead end place. So do you possibly know how long it takes to change that kind of thing? I just thought I would ask while I was here.
I don't know.
I don't
Get that
know.
fixed. Okay.
But what you're talking about is if the street were changed, then eventually there'll be a GIS update that changes
Right.
that street name, and
That's it.
then that will stop.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that time frame, but I do know that they update pretty often
Okay.
because they catch those detours pretty quick. I know that.
Mhm.
All right. All right.
So,
I appreciate that.
oh, you bet.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you coming.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Loretta, did you have something to add?
Yes, I just wanted to say that several residents from Cleveland, beyond the two that are here, have come to Pierce Township Board of Trustees meetings to express their frustration. Once Cleveland Lane was opened and even before the first address was assigned, these problems began to show up, and we had calls and discussed, we put signage up that say no outlet, that there's no through road there, no construction traffic early on. It was the construction traffic through the development being built. So Pierce Township initiated this conversation, this change. And as all of you know, the village of Amelia had an agenda. They were certainly intending to annex and continue on Cleveland Lane and connect the two ends. I think by intentionally approving this subdivision with that name on the opposite end, this was part of their plan and destiny to add more development, as they are the ones who initiated this development and the Dries development, others, both touching Cleveland Lane. One of the first trips I made when I was new was to go to Cleveland Lane because the construction trucks for Dries were tearing up Cleveland Lane, and it was little more than a gravel road at that stage. So since that time, just in this last year, we've invested in resurfacing it. It's no wider, but there was a lot of damage already done by construction trucks earlier on. But it only has, I didn't count how many houses on it, but maybe 10? Perhaps there's not many houses on it. It's a one-lane road. Two cars cannot pass. And this kind of construction traffic and delivery trucks and so on and so forth, it's not safe for them. It's not safe for the residents. It's certainly had unintended consequences. And there is no traffic light for these big trucks to be getting in and out of State Route 125. So there's no room to turn around. There's no traffic light at the intersection of 125. Once their GPS has taken them onto Cleveland Lane, if they're not caught right at that first vacant parcel that is at the entrance of Cleveland Lane, there is no good place for them to turn around until they get back to the end of it. And that's where Ms. Vizzy is continuing to receive the brunt of that traffic and the confusion and the deliveries and so on, and has had numerous conversations also with Amazon and tried to educate people. But we're at a loss other than the name change in order to make it clear that these two roads at this stage anyway do not connect. What will come in the future as far as development goes, we don't know. But there's no reason it can't have two different names and still have some form of connection that will be paid for by a developer who will also have to improve all of Cleveland Lane. And perhaps with the critical mass of trips and houses that would be able to outlet there would need to be a traffic signal one day. So it's for these reasons that Pierce Township is supporting this name change.
Thank you. So at this time, we would entertain anyone that is opposed to the change of the name. You will also have to be sworn in.
I, Paul Forrest,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
the testimony I'm about to give.
the testimony I'm about to give
Is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. First person that would like to speak? Name and address, please.
Nick Sellhorse, Choice One Engineering, 8956 Glendale Milford Road, Suite 1, Loveland, Ohio. Good morning. Appreciate being up here before the board. I don't know if opposed is the right word. I'm here more to give background since we worked for Amelia back when Amelia was a village. So I brought the Planning Commission meeting minutes from when this was first before the village as a rezone to a PUD, just to talk about why it is Cleveland Lane within what used to be the village. So one of the things in the minutes says residents voice concerns about loss of trees and the connection to Cleveland Lane because Cleveland Lane, which goes in and out of Amelia and Pierce Township, isn't wide enough for two vehicles to pass one another. So that was a concern that people brought up at the time. And then a motion to recommend approval to Village Council of the PUD zone change was made by Mrs. King. This recommendation of approval is contingent on Road B, which connects to Cleveland Lane, being gated until such time that Cleveland Lane is widened so that two vehicles can pass each other safely. So the thought was that may never happen. So they wanted to connect it, gate it, so that people couldn't go through because of the concerns, because Cleveland Lane is so narrow. But physically make the connection. So if it were to ever be widened, the connection is there. So Cleveland Lane within the development that will then connect to the existing Cleveland Lane. That's why it was called that, because it will physically connect. It will be gated, so you can't get through. But that's why, you know, our design plan and the plats approved by the county, that's why within the development, it's called Cleveland Lane, because when the last phase is done, it will physically connect to the existing Cleveland Lane, but it will be gated. So people won't be able to drive through. So if you change the name within the development, I don't know if that solves the issues. You know, at the end of the day, you won't be able to get through. So that's the background. I can answer questions, but I didn't know if I was speaking for or against. So.
I guess my question would just be simple. If you change the name and I'm looking for Cleveland Lane and I've got that in on my GPS, is it still going to direct me? What's the new name going to be?
You know, I don't know. Apple Maps and Google Maps update that kind of stuff. Clearly they can, though, because when there's a temporary detour, it knows you can't cross this, what used to be a bridge, because it's being worked on. You have to go around. So if, I don't know the process, but if someone says this is basically not connected, then they program that in.
It's kind of like if you change
whether it's Cleveland Lane or if it's two names.
Right.
That side of things for GPS is that's how most people drive nowadays. That needs done, and I don't know how that gets done, but I know it's certainly possible.
Right. If you're trying to get to Buxton Road and you change the name of Beachmont Avenue to something else, the GPS is still going to tell you to go on that new road to get to Buxton. That's the issue here. Is if you're still trying to get your destination to Cleveland Road and you change this road to what's the proposed road, is it still going to say, well, you take a ride on Samplewood to get to Cleveland Lane, you know?
It shouldn't, because someone needs to say this is gated. Like, this is not a physical connection.
Right.
So that's a great question. I just know it's possible.
I don't know.
Because those apps are very dynamic with like temporary road closures. So it's clearly, you know, like in Sycamore Township, for instance, they have some gated streets that cross under Ronald Reagan Highway. You can't physically do it. And I'm sure if I typed it in, it wouldn't let me go through there. I'd have to go all the way around.
It's like any destination. When you get on there, if you say, give me no highway, it's going to run you through whatever roads, regardless of what those names are, to get you to that destination. And you could change every one of those roads names. It's going to tell you to go the same way, because it's giving you the non-highway route, and so that's the only concern I'd have on that. Will this really fix the problem, or is there another fix for this?
I'm speculating here, so I don't know.
I am too.
Changing the name probably won't. Getting the GPS companies to update their systems to say this is basically a chasm that you can't cross. That's really the issue. But I thought I'd give the background on why it was called Cleveland Lane to start.
And then the other thing with that just draws my attention is that, first responders use those addresses, to be able to respond. And again, that gives them a routing to get them to the quickest location that they can. If it's a different road, may it direct somebody to Cleveland Road as the fastest route to get to this new road. And then they run down that area and see that I can't get to that road from here. And then I got to redirect, I don't know. I don't know if that fixes what the real problem here is.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Another person like to speak? I think you're being pointed at.
Hi, my name is Paul Coors with Ryan Homes. Our office address is 8622 Jackman Drive in Westchester. And I work as the land development manager. Been with Ryan Homes for about 20 years. Currently, we have 2 homes on Cleveland Lane in the Woodside Park subdivision. One is under construction, I would say probably in the drywall stage, and the second is already occupied. Samantha Pletz lives in that home. She's a single mom, works at Kroger's as assistant store manager, and simply stated, she moved in her home in February. So imagine, if you will, you bought a new home, you've moved in, all the labor and tasks that it takes to move into that new home. Let your job know, let your healthcare know, let the school know, let everyone know, I've got a new address. Thank you. I moved in. And then next thing you know, a couple months later, guess what? My address is going to change again to whatever street it changes to be. So think again, you're essentially moving on paper, another driver's license, another round of contacts through school, through work, through any means necessary of, think about how many places know your address. So I'm in opposition, simply stating as I represent our customer and their interests, that the amount of time it would take to change an address again, it would be an undertaking for her. She couldn't be here today, so I'm here in her stead. But at the same time, the public hearings were held, the plats were all signed, legally all the correct procedures were followed and adhered to. The commissioner signed it, Pierce Township signed it. So Eddie McCarthy from Pierce signed the plat. So everyone knew this was happening. And at the same time, we're back doing an end around again. So at the same time, I also think about the costs that would be incurred if the street name would be changed. Who makes those payments to redo the plat? Who pays the engineer? Who pays for the Mylar? Who pays for the recording fees? All of those things need to be taken into account. It's not just a flip of a switch and we got a new street name. There's a lot more tasks involved to doing that, and then taking into account our homeowner as well.
And just a question for you: the person's name that owns this home is, what was her name again, please?
Samantha Pletz, Pletz.
And what is her address there? Do you know? Right.
300 Cleveland Lane.
Okay. And is she in attendance today?
She's not. She had to be at work today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was here to represent her.
Okay.
But I'm free to answer any more questions you have. Need me to step back up? Thank you for your time.
You bet.
Yeah, we can. You wanted to speak, ma'am?
Yes.
My name is Megan Adams with Welsh Development, 5780 State Route 128, Cleves, Ohio. To reiterate some of what Paul said, Clermont County and Pierce Township both signed the record plat for Section 4A that did list the street as Cleveland Lane. Pierce Township's the one that created the numeric addresses for Cleveland Lane. So my question is, why didn't they mention it back when everything was in front of everybody the first time about being Cleveland Lane? Our next submittal for sections 4C and D has gone through, and that shows where Cleveland Lane is connecting. There was 2 lots, which are the 2 that are platted, in 4A. In 4C and D, the remaining lots that connect to the existing Cleveland Lane are shown on there. As you mentioned about first responders and so forth, there's going to be removable bollards that are going to be placed where the roads do connect, but to keep traffic from going through, removable bollards are on there. And the fire department has given us the company to go through to get that, so they have a key. So if in case there's a fire or something like that, they need to get through there, they've got the key. We're using what they recommended so they can get right through there. Normal traffic cannot get through there, but the fire department and emergency responders can, because the roads are going to be connected. Our pavement is going right up to the Cleveland Lane pavement. They will connect. If you open the gates, you're driving straight through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. It's a nice strum anyway, huh?
That's what I was going to do.
Thank you.
Greg, do you have any other comments that you could add to any of this?
Do you have any specific questions?
Like, it was brought up about the cost and to rename this. Do you have any comments on what we are doing?
I don't believe there's any cost in renaming the street.
Okay.
There'd be no record plat change requirements. There'd be no recording fees. If the commissioners choose to vote yes, the street name changes immediately. And we would note it on our records immediately that there was a street name change, and send a copy of the commissioner's resolution to township. Kelly Perry in our office would make note for all the 911 issues. So I do not feel there's any cost associated with a street name change if the commissioners were to choose to vote yes. I think it happens
None of the
immediately.
residents or the builders would have to pay for any additional.
There certainly, like you said, there of course will be issues for the residents that will have a address
Yes.
change.
But it'll be everybody who's already there is going to have to absorb.
Right, it'd be anybody that has,
For years.
because the township would be required to assign that person a new address on whatever the new street was. And certainly there's going to be some
Right.
issues for the resident.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Anything else, David?
No. They want to talk again.
No. I have gone over to Samantha Pletz and spoken to her and her fiance, whose name is Jack Samplewood. They are in both very much agreement to change this name of this section to Samplewood because, of course, this is their last name. She hasn't married him yet, but evidently, but Jack Sample and the future Samantha Pletz Sample are very much in favor of this name change because it will actually bear their last name. So they are not contesting by any means the change of the name of this new section of Cleveland Lane. I have talked personally, I've gone over there physically and talked to both of them. And they said they were going to be here today, but I guess they just, it's understandable. I guess they just couldn't be here because of their jobs, I suppose. But again, they are not contesting. They want the name. That's how we came up with the name of Samplewood. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Loretta, I have a question for you. Have you spoken with the police department or the fire department in Pierce about the confusion if there were a call to go to her address or one of the other addresses with the streets being the same and not being able to get from one to the other?
Well,
Because
for
I know,
safety services, as we said, and there's the other road that apparently there wasn't confusion for construction. What's the other one that's already gated? Springwood. Springwood already exists where Dries was building the condos off of Cleveland Lane. And that was completed, attached, and gated, and there didn't seem to be this type of confusion in terms of the connectivity. So if anyone can help us find, because I have called, we've tried to find out. I've asked about what's the process to notify companies for detours of roads in order to make sure that they know that this is not going to be regularly open to traffic. We talked about East Cleveland, West Cleveland. Well, in the discussions with the trustees, in addition to proposing the name change, and we were told in a public meeting that Sample was going to be this woman's last name, and that was what she supported. Samplewood was the name that was brought forward along with a few others, and that is why that name was selected. So I know that there's another one where it's connected, and that's purely for safety services access. So they know they will have the access that they need. We just need to stop this confusion for other traffic that's not permitted to cross. So if anyone can help us get that word out, we've had 3 months to try to do that already. So we've made our best effort to avoid the name change, to fix the problem, and we've not been able to do that. So our new police chief, Broxterman, has also met specifically with Mrs. Fizzi regarding the problems that she's been having, and we've had several staff meetings about how we can make that correction. Again, in the long run, I don't know what the connectivity to the subdivisions is going to be and whether there's going to be any through access as additional parcels are improved. But as you know, it is not made for heavy traffic at this point.
Okay, thank you. At this time, are there any other comments? Okay. So are we prepared today to make a decision?
We don't have to.
We have
Up
to
the board.
close.
We have to close the public hearing.
Yep. Can I have a motion to close, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Okay.
It's the board's discretion if you'd like to go
Yes.
forward today or if you would like to have this at a future hearing.
Board, what is your? Commissioner Painter, what would be your?
Do you have anything prepared, Holly?
I do. It would be the recommendation. It would be the recommendation to change the name of, my apologies, see where it went. It would be the recommendation to change the name of Cleveland Avenue located in Pierce Township to Samplewood Lane. It would be the board's discretion.
Avenue, it's Lane.
I'm sorry. That's correct. I apologize. It's to change the name Cleveland Lane to Samplewood Lane in Pierce Township. It'd be the board's discretion to approve that change.
I'll make a motion that we change the name to Samplewood.
I'll second your motion.
Any other discussion, board?
None.
Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Painter?
We need to add that to the agenda. first.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize, Mr. Eigel. You are correct.
Add it first.
Can we have a motion to add it on to today's agenda, please?
So moved.
I will second the addition.
Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Now you can make your other one.
Now, could you read the motion, please?
We would make the motion to change the name of Cleveland Lane located in Pierce Township to Samplewood Lane with the board's approval.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I will second the motion.
Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Took a while, but we got there, right?
There you go.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. Please, you say something, Tom? I'm hearing things. Okay. Okay, then we will move to I, member comments. Anything?
No.
Well, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. You counting down the days?